Jennifer Love Hewitt, right?
She's had a lot of work done.
Ghost Whisperer?
Oh my god, that sounded so fucking mean.
You're talking about the music?
Are we keeping this?
Yes.
Madison doesn't do edits.
All right, guys, let's try just the music this time now. Here we
Sorry.
go. Jennifer is assembling her legal team as we speak.
I'm sorry, Jennifer. I do love you, but
Like, just
but no, like my association with Jennifer Love Hewitt is like Ghost Whisperer, and so watching this movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, it doesn't even look like her.
My association with her is the Boy Meets World Halloween special.
Yeah,
where she was in it, and she
plays herself or what?
She plays her air quotes herself. She's like clearly like a scream queen that's like not supposed to be there.
Oh right,
and she
okay.
gets in a yelling match with the very, very attractive lady, and I don't remember her name on the show, and they scream back and forth. Not Topanga, the other one.
I don't know. I never really watched it, but yeah.
Yeah, it has boy in the title, of course. Anyway,
yeah, but she's got a different face. She does, like her face. Like if you look at Jennifer Love Hewitt now, and if you look at Jennifer Love Hewitt in this movie, like that's a different person. And like props to the team that did her work because she looks great, but she looks different.
you can't talk about it like she's a model car. Whoever did that paint job did a wicked job, dude.
Okay, you gotta look. I
don't gotta do a thing.
I feel like I sound like a bitch now.
Real quick.
We're Crosscut Cinema.
We're Crosscut Cinema. My name's Logan.
I'm Brie.
I'm Frani.
I'm Madison, looking up Jennifer Love Hewitt before and after.
I felt like I had to switch it up and get in there real fast because it's usually, Logan and Frani.
No. It's usually Madison. Madison always goes first.
Oh.
Every time.
I just know Frani usually goes after Logan and then I'm usually last.
Do we have an unspoken order? I wasn't aware.
How about from now on, we
Like,
all
look
just
at
say
her.
all of our names at once? Like, blah!
Brie. Oh, I thought somebody was.
Wow, who
you were
did that
gonna do
paint
it with
job,
me.
dude?
Shut up!
Who got them rims, bruh?
May I see?
Real quick,
Hold on.
On another note, before we start talking about the movie, I've been getting a lot of really, really nice messages from people lately, and I just wanted to shout out some people who have been reaching out to me and saying they like the podcast. So, shout out to Louie, Melvin, Chris, Cody, Will, and Melissa. And then
My shout out is to Mariah. Thank you for being a fan of me.
and
You're
she
cool.
totally remembered your name, I swear.
Shut up, Logan.
I mean,
didn't have
Bridget
to
loves
pause
you.
her.
It's not that Bridget didn't remember your name. It's that Bridget got incredibly nervous at her first shout out. She's like, my fan. I can't disappoint my one fan, my new fan.
You know what? That's valid.
I only have one. I can't.
Well, we don't know that for sure. We know
I'm
you
sure
have a
you
lot
have
of
many
defectors.
fans.
Because
If you're-
we all have a lot of defectors. We know we have a lot of not fans because there's
Yeah.
a lot of dislikes on some of the
I
videos.
got called a bad bitch, but then the comment got deleted. So,
Aw.
Could
I'm
have
upset
been
about
that
that.
could have been YouTube.
yeah,
Just like, oh, that's a cuss word. Bleh.
right. But thanks whoever
But
called me
they
a bad
but they
bitch.
don't delete when they go like these faggots sure are
Fucking
stupid.
faggots.
They don't delete those.
But yeah, like
if
if
you're
you-
a fan,
Oh, go
let
ahead.
me know in the comments because I have low self-esteem. I'm kidding. I
She needs reinforcement.
like JK,
You're
but
inviting
really,
so much hatred into those comments. You know that, right?
it's fine.
I'd like to say the last thing I need is reinforcement. If you're a fan, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
It's not what we need right now.
whoever left Madison those mean comments, you're a god. Because she needed some.
I mean, it did take me down a notch, but that also, it made me feel really good at the same time. So I don't know what to tell you.
It made you feel good.
A little bit, because like, you know,
Acknowledgement.
any press is good press. Like,
My favorite comment on the last video was for the Red State comment where the person wrote an entire ass review and at the very end just goes, also you have ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can we talk about that ghost moment though in the last video?
Woo.
yeah.
Speaking
Okay.
of Ghost Whisperer, because
So if you listen to our last video, Scoob and Red State, in about like the middle, I think it was
It's-
1 hour,
we
8
had them-
minutes, and 55 seconds.
Yeah, that's
to
what
be
it was.
exact. There is like an audio glitch that nobody heard anything through our headphones when it was happening, or we would have paused.
Especially
but,
as
like,
we didn't listen to it before we uploaded. No, literally nobody heard it.
No,
before
we
you
don't do
guys.
that.
we just upload it raw.
But yeah, fuck, there was definitely a ghost in the room with us.
Yeah, I mean, and
Like,
it would be weird to me if it were an audio thing. Or like not an audio thing, but like a technology thing, like the computer or the wires or something like that. Because one, it happened to all of us, and two, we've never had a glitch like that before. And I think I would notice if something were happening on the computer because I'm always like, it's always in front of my face.
You're always looking at it.
So yeah, I don't know. And I like the part where we're like talking about how we want, because what we were talking about in the moment is how we wanted to be picketed by the Westboro Baptist Church. So I like the thought that like this is a conservative ghost who is like, no, you cannot. I've had it with you fucking people.
I've had it with you fucking fags.
This ghost is like, the flag is symbolic. It doesn't mean it's racist.
Oof.
Oh,
heritage, not hate.
Ooh.
If that's your case, then fuck you, ghost. And your racist bullshit.
Watch, this entire episode is just gonna sound like
I was looking at somebody's like post about like not understanding the mask wearing, and there was a comment in it that had a picture of like Muslims in it with like their face covering.
Yeah, you sent that to the group chat. I cringed.
What just happened? No.
My bottle of water just ejaculated all over me.
And it was the post was pretty much saying like, why did these countries still get COVID if they always wear face masks?
Like, you stupid.
Fucking,
I can't handle it.
Like, I can't handle that.
This is an official statement from Crosscut Cinema saying to wear your mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wear the fucking mask. That's it.
It's not.
You'll be all right. I promise.
It's nothing personal. You will be fine.
If we had any clout at all, we'd sell masks, but we don't have clout at all. So
we don't have clout. You could give us clout.
I mean, we got some
the
clout.
Saddest podcast in the world to ever wear a face mask.
But you wouldn't be able to tell because we have a face mask on.
It just says this is not cop propaganda on it.
Yeah.
And no, it ain't.
Oh my gosh, that podcast has aged very oddly.
Yeah, it has.
It's not really like 100% in Bridget's favor, but it definitely is more than it was at the time.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely said,
coming out on the right side of history, baby.
Well, I mean, I am, because I didn't say anything super negative.
I mean, I like to be devil's advocate sometimes, and I definitely said some pro-cop things in that I now regret.
We get canceled for that,
but don't worry.
In 10 years.
Don't worry. There's a great comment that was like, you said something about like, propaganda doesn't have to be intentional, and like the actual definition of propaganda is something used intentionally.
I don't want to talk about it. I feel like the person who left that comment, and you know who you are, like you have a thing against me because that's the same person who left another comment that was directed at me.
What's crazy about the podcast is like you aren't limited to listen to one a day. You could like listen to another one and then still have an opinion on the second one.
I'm so glad you commented. I said it like I was mad, but actually it just makes me happy to know that people are listening.
She's like, give me hate.
Give me any form of.
Everybody should give us hate if they want to hate us. Everybody should give us love if they want to love us. The person
and
who
if you feel indifferent, then you should just hit that like button.
Yeah, hit that subscribe.
And just go ahead and donate to Patreon.
It might grow on you.
Oh, and you know what else? The guy who wrote the meanest comment about me ever, you shouldn't have deleted it because I really actually enjoyed reading it. So please re-comment
You say that now.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. It affected my mental health immensely, but it was also like, that guy, he wrote a book about us, you know?
Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, if you, like, honestly, the way I look at it
No. It was about, he said we were dumb for liking Brokeback Mountain, essentially.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about it. I forgot about that.
Before we move on to the film, I do want to mention one comment, which was my favorite, on the Red State video, where the person just said Red State is rated higher than 1917. And to that, I just have to say it's a better movie. Next.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is a better movie. It literally
is better. I'm sorry. I can't.
Only one of them is one of Tarantino's favorite films, I'm just saying. So if you rate that man with any sort of legitimacy.
I remember being in the theater during 1975, and me and Logan.
1975.
What year?
What song is it? Like, isn't there like a song called like Chocolate or something by that band?
Yeah, it sounds like kind of like that.
Yeah, something like that.
But no, during 1917, me and Logan were just looking at Madison like, "Can we leave? Can we leave?"
They were literally begging.
We need to wait for Beneficial Cucumber to come up, and it's like Benedict Crumplesnatch needs to be here.
At the fucking end.
And by the way, she only did this because I made a point that she doesn't like Benedict Cumberbatch. She's like, no, I like him enough to sit here until I get to his part of the movie.
I feel like
I
it was
slept.
worth it for me to see the entire movie.
Was it?
We left early.
I
We did
didn't
not
think
see the
so.
entire movie.
Left in like the last 5 minutes.
We could have left in the first 5 minutes and seen the whole fucking movie. You know why? Because it's embedded into history. It happened. We could have just went, what was this specific movie about as far as war stories? Oh, this happened. Well, I read it in 5 minutes and didn't have to watch Benedict's bad acting because it was bad in that movie.
But this is not a review of 1917.
We already have one
Thank
of those.
God.
It didn't do very well, I don't think, but you can
That
go
is-
watch it.
That is one of our sub 100 view videos.
Don't worry, guys. When you date us like this and in 3 months we have nothing but 20 view per videos, we're going to be real upset. You don't know that algorithm. She's a fucking wicked bitch. Yeah, everybody's asking for Tarantino. It's like 49 views later.
Right.
Oh, that upset me so much. I'm like, we're done. We're
But
over.
then Scoob
Nothing
is
else.
5,000.
5.3.
Somebody said we should
last
just be
time
a
I
Kevin
checked.
Smith and Scooby-Doo podcast. And
Which, like,
they might
I'm
be right.
down.
Like, they might be right as to how we could like increase our traffic.
And then they put like the emojis for Donkey Show.
Donkey Show.
For what?
Just watched
In
Clerks
Clerks 2, not to be spoilery, if you guys haven't seen Clerks 2, you'll be shocked that there is a donkey show in the movie, in a sense. And that person left a donkey show emojis at the end of their comment. It's
That's
like
funny.
balloons and streamers, donkey, balloons, streamers.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but I
Yeah.
was.
You
I
also
was
haven't
still,
seen Clerks 2.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also haven't seen Clerks.
It's much more
1.
tasteful than it sounds, but not too tasteful to where it won't upset you. But it's 14 years old, so it's, there's some slidey slides there. Anyway, yeah, thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the negative comments. Thanks for all the positive. Thanks for people reaching out. If you guys like it, share it around, because that's pretty much what gets us all these views is when people start sharing it with other people.
And we really appreciate that. Like, we have a lot of fun, but we also work hard. And
That's true.
We do enjoy our fans and our support. My
And-
my one fan.
It could be more. We also we get into arguments for the sense of good content, and we're risking each other's lives every day. Because Madison might fucking kill me
I was
one
gonna
day.
say every day I get one step closer to murdering Logan. So just know that there's a lot riding on this. So yeah, basically, thank you for
Yeah.
listening.
Mm-hmm.
We love you.
Yeah, I mean, I barely know you, but you seem pretty chill, dude.
Even the people that never fail to comment fags. We love that. That's our association.
That's like our number one word, like our associated word with our comments is fags.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, we get a fag comment on every
Every
video.
fucking video. And then YouTube's like, nope. And we're like,
That's
nah,
funny.
dude, we want to embrace that shit.
Right, it's the brand.
I want somebody to post fags and then they get like 100 likes on that comment. That's what I want because that's what this is.
It's the brand.
I mean, have.
Well, okay, so we're not an LGBTQ podcast anymore.
I think people have said that we are.
Exactly. So I'm still a part of that podcast. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
I'm a fag enabler.
I love.
You're fag adjacent.
Yeah, fag adjacent.
Okay.
It's like how Kevin Smith is a fag enabler. So am I.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna take this out of context. It's gonna be
I pray.
cool
I
skill.
pray they do.
Schoolsville sucks.
Oh, don't worry.
I just love that we've become an LGBT podcast, which is not what
Yeah,
it wasn't the idea that we were gonna be a gay podcast. Though I think that any podcast I'm on is a gay podcast, but
I agree.
I think
for me it was I want to bring a different perspective to talking about movies, and that just happens to be the gay one.
I'm not even trying to be funny. I just feel like there's not that much out there. That's why we kind of.
I agree with that. Yeah, I mean,
'Cause we're-
especially
comedy podcasts too.
yeah. I mean, if this is
It's
this is
a
comedy,
1,000%
it's
a
comedy.
comedy podcast.
But yeah, somebody was somebody in a comment was I want a lesbian perspective on Chasing Amy, and I was like, wow, I want to be, I'll be your lesbian perspective, baby.
Yes,
that's
we need
who
to
I
do
want to
that.
be for you people.
That could be that's going to be a tough one.
I think
Anyway,
we should. I
movie.
mean, I do think we should do it. I've actually never seen it. That's a fun fact.
it's
I've also never seen
it's
it.
a great movie.
It is.
It's I feel like,
Just remember, it was a product of its time.
and it is from a point of trying to understand things.
Yeah, but let's talk about. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about that shit I'm never gonna fucking forget that you were involved in last summer.
Really funny enough. When we came over and we were talking, right after we talked about, I know what you did last summer. My bit life gave me a notification, and it was like, your character knows or remembers what you did last summer. And I was like, okay.
What?
Because, like, you were supposed to be whatever your character is. And I opened it, and it was like, you played Bit Life. And I was like,
Okay.
all right.
Ooh,
But anyway, that was just a weird
harsh.
moment.
At
At least, I didn't murder anyone. So.
That's good. And in our podcast fashion, let's talk about Scooby-Doo and its relation. This film actually helped cast the 2002 Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah, because
It
Sarah
did,
Michelle
yeah.
Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. are in it.
And then
They
all-
met on this movie.
Yep, and then people actually saw that movie when they were doing castings for the film, and they really liked Freddie, and they really liked good old Sarah Michelle Gellar. So there they are. They're in the picture. Isn't that crazy how that happens?
That is crazy how that happens.
Also, Kevin Smith was supposed to direct that movie, so that's even weirder. Just as much as we can swivel in back to our main
I know
brand.
what you did last summer, or
Scooby-Doo 2002.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Somebody left
I
that in
didn't
a
know that
comment, and I
either.
Googled it, and it's true.
Huh.
Fucking nuts,
There
man.
we go.
I saw that comment. I was going to leave it a like, but I was like, I don't know if that's true or not. And I'm not going to fact check. So,
I get it.
I don't like it enough to see if it's true.
We should do the thing we only sometimes do and need to get better at doing, where we actually tell what this movie's about.
Okay, here we go.
I feel like, do we do that?
We need to.
We need to
Why?
because people listen to the podcast without watching the movie sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like there were like I feel like in the beginning I would be like, should we say what it's about? And you're like, no, people will watch it.
Well, to be fair,
Evolved.
we've evolved, yeah.
I just
I
want to
can't-
point it out.
Okay, let's talk about all the things you've been wrong about so far.
Let's.
That's not, because I don't want to hurt you.
You can't think of any. No, I'm just
There's
kidding.
there's plenty.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, there is plenty. Why are we doing this on YouTube? Number one.
Shut the fuck up.
Bada bing, baby. Anyway,
Can we
let's
just
go
move
ahead and
on?
talk about the
Can we
story.
just-
also,
on.
I want to point out my dad listened to the Bloodshot episode before we watched Bloodshot. And
Okay.
he realized that he hated it. And that we hated it. And he was going to watch it with us.
I feel like your comment is 2 sentences back, but that's
It is,
okay.
but you guys started fighting.
That was not fighting. That
Not
was
really fighting,
That was
I know.
jousting.
Jousting.
Scooby-Doo 2
Jousting.
Monsters Unleashed style. Anyway, so this movie is about a group of teenagers, all of which are about to go off into their different prospective adult lives, and because they're graduating. It starts off with Sarah Michelle Gellar getting a prize because she's super hot.
They fit very easily into like teen movie tropes.
The man who wrote the Scream screenplay back when it was called Scary Movie is actually the person who wrote this film. So,
I didn't know it was the same writer because I was gonna say like it's quite similar to Scream.
yeah, I think what's really cool about this movie versus Scream, although I think Scream is the better picture, obviously, but this movie wants to still be a teen slasher without being an absolute satire, but it's totally got moments where it's self-aware, and that's really cool. That's
Yeah.
what- it's like these kids maybe in a horror movie, but they've also fucking seen a horror movie, where if you're looking at movies from like 78 with like, like Jamie Lee Curtis, she's like, oh no, a guy with a knife. How could this ever happen? Like, I like the fact that
Yeah.
I Know You Did Last Summer is still in the genre of like not totally self-aware of their decisions, but have an existence and knowledge of like, that's a psycho killer over there. I should probably run. But yeah, so the movie goes, there's these 4 teenagers, one wins a beauty contest, blah, blah, blah. They're all driving around drunk. It's really upsetting. They go to the beach. They do the slammings. They're in Maine, by the way. I should throw that out there.
Yeah, so it's very seafood related. There's just a lot of fish going on.
Yeah.
Like everybody in that fucking town smells like fish.
Wow. Probably.
Well, like, cause like everybody's like a dock worker or like a fisherman. So like when
Madison's really coming for people today.
I feel like someone like pissed in her cereal today. She's real angry.
honestly, I
if we
have to
a
say,
Maine fan base, if we have a fan base from Maine, they're offended now.
They're all just like,
told them they
they're
smell like
clapping their
fish.
lobsters together in anger. It's like, this is
I have to
bullshit.
say, I stayed up very late watching these movies to the point where, I didn't watch them all the way. I didn't stay up.
She had over a month to watch both films, by the way.
Okay, shut up. But we were gonna watch them last night, and I stayed up really late, and I had to go to work early this morning. I mean, or as early as I ever do, but I had to get up early this morning to go to work, and I'm quite tired, so I'm popping off.
Yep, she got me the whole month to watch it, but that's okay. Anyway, what happens is they're driving along. Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character is driving the other guy's car. He's kind of like a douchey frat boy style guy.
He's like a rich dude, comes from money. Everything's handed to him. He's an asshole.
Which Josh Hartnett...
like-
go ahead.
He's like, I don't know why this is the comparison that draws to mind, but like James Spader in Pretty in Pink.
That's a strange comparison, but
Well,
it's not. It's not totally
it's just
unfounded.
Like that teen movie, like party boy, asshole type that I think of. I don't know.
So Josh Hartnett,
James Spader was the blueprint.
Josh Hartnett of Halloween H2O and to Madison the Faculty fame, he played Zeke, was supposed to be in this movie.
Bold of you to assume I remember the Faculty, but fine.
I thought it haunted you. But
It's just like a series of blurry images to me.
I just remember, Frodo.
Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood, thank you.
You know how many times?
Blanked.
Hold on. This will not stand. You had a whole hour and a half where you talked about Elijah Wood once. I don't want to hear that you don't know his name. That's fucking ridiculous.
Just blanked. It was also not an hour and a half. Just so
It was
you know.
exactly an hour and a half.
It wasn't. 'Cause
I timed it.
It was exactly an hour and a half.
no, I swear to God, it was not an hour and a half.
It's exactly an hour and a half.
You should look at the
doesn't matter, but
timestamps.
by far.
Well, I mean, if she's going to say it's not, though, we should correct her and say it was.
But what's his name who played?
It starts at 25 minutes. Oh, this is important. It starts at 25 minutes and ends in an hour and 55. That is an hour and a half. Anyway, moving on.
We love you.
We love you, but it was an hour and a half.
I'm just upset.
No, because you called me a liar, but it was the truth.
I didn't say you were a liar.
You said that it wasn't that, which makes me a liar.
Hold
If I was
please.
lying.
But anyway, I want to get through the summary of this movie, so
no,
I'm
I
gonna
wanna get
roll
to this
through
point.
it.
So, Josh Hartnett was originally supposed to be cast as this character, and if you notice, everything about the character, the frat guy throughout the
Wait,
whole
so it's
film.
not Josh Hartnett actually?
No,
I don't know who Josh Hartnett is. Like,
He's a very tall actor, kind of muscular-y.
sure. I just don't have a face for the name.
That's fine. I'm just explaining. So this is what happened. They cast originally a very tall man, and then what happened is he couldn't do the part, and they cast a very small guy. Like, this dude's really short, and he still had to play the bravado character. And that's what I really like, is that's actually a great performance from that guy, because this whole movie is based around, can he come off like a brutish asshole who's actually intimidating, even though he's the stringiest of beans, and he kind of does. So regardless of whether it's a great film or not, I think he did a really good job in the performance that did not match his physical stature.
I actually felt like his performance was the worst part of this movie.
Really?
Well,
I liked
shocking.
him.
Why is that shocking?
No, I said it's shocking because I felt the exact opposite.
I just felt that
how isn't that shocking?
I thought it was like sarcastic, like shocking. Like, of course you would think that.
Of course.
But no, I just felt like it was almost too much to the point of not being intimidating. Like, it was more laughable.
Well, it's like he's overcompensating for how short it is.
I don't know. I mean, like I
totally knew guys like that in like high school that like are small, but like they over fucking compensate.
Well, I just felt like he as an actor was overacting the part, and it didn't need that.
I feel like that's exactly what it needed. That was what the part was calling
I don't know.
for.
I wish that he had been a little bit more like, less yelly and more like intimidating, like,
yeah, but he's small.
Like, I don't know, like,
But that's the point.
He
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
be physically
And also, he's
intimidating.
supposed to be, because there had to be a character who had the catalyst of literally bullying everyone into keeping it a secret. And it had,
Yeah, but I
so
just,
it
like,
had to be somebody who was super over the top and ridiculous. Like,
yeah, but I feel like he could have been more like threatening and less like screamy. Like, he just like tantrumed his way.
but let's
into
not forget
it.
that
But
he
he's
is
a rich
child.
kid, yeah.
He's a rich child. He's a spoiled kid.
I
course he's gonna be
just didn't like
tantrumy.
the performance. I just thought that like it relied too much on yelling and not enough like actual acting.
Did you not like the character, or did you not like the performance?
No, I just didn't like the performance. I thought the character was fine.
But you're saying you needed him to be such and such. That wasn't the character.
What do you mean?
The character was meant to be over the top rich kid boy. Like, he's supposed to be that. When they cast him, they changed that character and he filled in the shoes.
Well, no, I mean, like, I think that the way that he acted this character, I don't know. I just wanted a little bit more out of it, and I wanted him to be less.
I don't think that
Like, he was
character's
like,
supposed to be that dense.
he was shouting.
I truly think you don't like the character. It's
No,
not necessarily
listen,
the
let me finish.
performance. Okay.
It was he was shouting, he was speaking very loudly, but I didn't really feel any sort of like he wasn't like conveying any emotion to me. He was just yelling.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And I just didn't like the performance, and I just thought, and even the moments when he wasn't yelling and he was trying to be serious, it just didn't like connect in the way that maybe the other characters' performances felt more like believable. Like
Totally
I
disagree.
think the
but
other
that's okay.
characters were just supposed to be more dense than he was.
I mean, I don't really want him to be
I think
dense.
he was kind of more of a shallow character. Like, I totally knew the guys in high school that were like very short and over fucking compensated and like would yell and like get super in your face for no reason. And,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like it's not necessarily the
Not have,
yelling,
like,
the
strong
yelling that I have the
emotion
issue
behind it.
with.
Well-
it's that I felt that he was speaking loudly. He was saying the lines loudly.
It's not that
but-
I didn't like that he was yelling.
Can I finish?
But that's what you just said, though.
No, it's not that I didn't like the yelling in and of itself. It's that he was saying the lines loudly, but he wasn't really acting them. I felt like he was just yelling to yell, and there was no like emotions behind it. I mean,
Okay.
that's just how I feel. Like,
Yeah, I mean that's why we have a podcast, right? Differences of opinion. Okay, well anyway,
You
I
were
just
right,
didn't-
Logan.
what's
I just
up?
wanted to let you know you were right.
Oh, don't get upset with me about
I'm not
it.
upset. I wanted to let you know you were right.
Bridget, you know I love you, right?
Wait, Bridget was
Yeah.
focused on proving Logan either right or wrong, but how did you feel about his performance?
I mean, I didn't have much of a feeling about it. I thought it was all right. I didn't really like him as a character.
Yeah, as a character, he's the fucking
Yeah, I mean,
worst.
he's the worst character
You're
in
not
the
supposed
movie.
to like him.
And I think that's fine. I think the movie
Yeah.
needs a character that is that one, but I just didn't like the way that he performed that character. I just think, I don't know. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
What'd you think about old Big Banger Boy in this movie, and the Big Bang Theory-ode boy?
Also, easily one of the worst parts of this movie.
Fucking awful.
Wait, what?
John
Honestly,
Galecki really just...
He just like looks like he's just like giving weird looks throughout this movie for no reason.
Is that the one guy, like the creepy guy, like that?
Yeah.
Looks like
That was
Wait,
Can we
finish
He went
giving
from-
the
he-
synopsis
he
that
went
Franny
from
wanted us to
Roseanne.
do?
We'll get there. He went from Roseanne to Big Banging Boy to in the middle. He was doing this shit.
Okay, but we keep saying
Yeah.
though that we need to give a synopsis so people know what we're talking about. but we're
here's the
talking
thing.
about it without giving a
Now that
synopsis.
she mentions it, that character will come up in just a moment. All right, so this is the plot synopsis. Okay.
Okay.
So these teenagers, they hit a guy. They're pretty sure they killed him. Although, to be honest with you, things got really sketchy on whether he was actually dead or not there for quite a minute.
Yeah, and so it turns out that he wasn't actually dead when they hit him, but he was dead by the time they disposed of the body.
But also was
So they thought.
yeah. And then all four of these teenagers are like, oh my God, we have so much ahead of us. They did not have much ahead of them. We need to make sure that nobody spills the beans because apparently we live in the most conservative town in the United States. So we need to all make sure that nobody spills the beans. And as a result of them
Wait,
keeping
what
this
does the
huge secret,
conservativeness of the town have to do
because
with
they
it?
were afraid they said we live in the most conservative town ever. If we report this, and even if it was an accident, they're gonna fry us. Like the death penalty was super.
I mean, but I mean, they do have a point there because they were, intoxicated. They were drinking underage, so they have a point as
But
to why this is an
To
issue.
be fair,
But
Julie was like,
They actually
not
legitimately
for that
say
plan.
as
No.
a reason why they don't go to the police because it's conservative.
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
So that was kind of my joke where I was like, it's so conservative that like
That
this
they'll get
spec-
arrested for manslaughter.
yeah, that they'll fucking. But the idea is like not only will they get arrested for manslaughter, but they'll just die on
They'll
spot.
just die.
So
So a year later,
Yeah.
after they've all moved on to do their respective things, or not really, as we come to find out, it turns out that they're all receiving threats that say, "I know what you did last summer."
bitch, I ain't done forget what you did last
Right,
summer.
I didn't forget about it. I never forget a bitch.
You fuck.
And so they're being terrorized by this fisherman character.
And Jennifer Love Hewitt's walking around everywhere like so hot, but so sad.
Her outfits
She
are
looks-
iconic in this. I love it.
Like the hat and the teddy bear.
Like there's this scene. What?
I don't know why the way you built it up made me laugh. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're about to say, but I can tell it's gonna be
But
funny.
yeah, that's basically the plot, though, is that they're being slashed and gashed by this fisherman who wants revenge on them for killing him the previous summer that he knows what they did during.
And the fisherman concept, the written concept, is loosely based on the Hookman legend.
man hook, hand door, car door.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a scene. You mentioned her outfits, and I was thinking about her outfits a lot in
Love
this
them.
movie. But there's a scene where Jennifer Love Hewitt and Sarah Michelle Gellar go and they're meeting the sister of the man that they think they killed.
yes.
And it's insane to me because Sarah Michelle Gellar is dressed like it's a hot summer day in Maine, and then Jennifer Love Hewitt's character is dressed like a Mormon.
Yeah.
A sad Mormon.
Yeah. She's wearing
She's wearing an ankle-length skirt. She's dressed like a sad
when
Mormon.
we were watching it, I was like, I wonder if that girl went to camp with Bridget. So,
Yeah, I looked at Bridget when we were watching it. I said, Bridget, why is she dressed like a Mormon?
But like, she's the type of bitch that could wear a brown paper bag and still look perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, like.
Yeah, I mean,
let's
but
be real.
that sister gave me like Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes.
Oh, I know. Like, it's just like she's constantly like slaughtering something.
Right?
Also, like, what did she fuck Freddie Prinze Jr. and we're all just okay with that? Like, he went.
Well, I don't think that they fucked per se.
She said they hooked up. That's the word she used.
Does she? I
She
thought
said
she just
the
said he
literal-
was sweet on me or something
was-
No,
like that.
they hooked up.
No, I'm
She
pretty
said-
sure they fucked.
She
Yeah.
said-
And
they
like
hooked up.
like Freddie Prinze Jr., why did you fuck her?
Yeah, like you're trying like
Guilt.
Like that's like if like let's say I said something mean to somebody and I wanted to go apologize and they weren't around, so I went to their house to like find out where they were and then I just
Fucked their
fucked their
sister.
sister.
I love it. But yeah,
Oh,
it's,
like yeah,
it's
and
the
also
sister.
like both times we see this sister, she's wearing the same outfit. So like, ew.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw
And
Massacre
she's, and
vibes.
she's
It just looks like an
slaughtering
avatar
animals
for it.
in this outfit. Like
That's-
she's killing dead things.
I
in this
related though
outfit.
because that's depression, baby. Not taking a shower, killing animals in the backyard.
Ew.
That's what it is, dude.
No, it's not.
I'm just fucking
If
around.
that's you.
That was my interpretation when Todd. That's Todd Phillips' thought on depression.
Right.
But yeah, it's the sister of the guy they think they killed, not the guy they actually almost killed.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
spoiler alert.
it comes out that the person they thought they killed was named Daniel Egan, okay, just to keep our people straight. The fisherman is the father of Daniel Egan's fiance who died in a car crash while Daniel was driving.
That year
So
before.
The previous 2 summers ago from
Yeah.
when we're
he
from
knew
when
what
it's
that
happening.
fucker did that summer.
Yeah, he knows what he did a couple summers back.
He's really keeping track
He's
of
really
the
got
whereabouts
tabs.
people this summer.
So this guy decides to kill Daniel Egan as revenge for killing his daughter. But then after he kills Daniel Egan, the kids yeet him on the road.
Eat him.
And so they think that they killed Daniel Egan, but in fact they killed the father of Daniel Egan's fiance.
Which they
but
didn't really kill.
him.
But they didn't kill him. He was actually alive, and now he's coming back for revenge on all the motherfuckers.
And for some reason,
Does
there's
that
just-
make sense?
There's a
Yes.
big fake with Freddie Prinze Jr. where he's not guilty of killing anybody, but he is guilty of fucking somebody who's emotionally
Right.
desperate.
Yikes.
Like there is a moment in this movie where you realize that the name that was given to the sister, Freddie Prinze Jr. told her name
Billy
her
Blue.
name was Billy Blue, and then we realized that the fishing boat that he works on is Billy Blue. And for a moment, you're like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
I knew way before that though. I
fuck
knew
is
the
going on?
second. I knew the second she was talking about it. I was
I mean,
like,
I had seen this movie before, so I knew that
Well,
too. But like, yeah,
I had it, and I was like, all right, which one of those fuckers went back? My money was on the other kid, the short guy.
really?
Yeah.
Fucked her.
Yeah, because I thought that
I
was
mean,
gonna.
that would be something like that
Well,
character to do is like fuck that guy. The
I
dead
thought that was gonna like be like a thing that like shows like some depth to this character. Like he felt bad but couldn't express it, so he fucked the sister.
So
but
one-
it wasn't like that.
One of the most famous shots in modern horror takes place in this film, and it was done by a child who won a contest to direct a scene.
Really? What scene is it?
So the scene where she puts her arms up in the air and goes, "What are you waiting for? What are you waiting? What do you want from me?" Baby?" And she spins
is
around.
iconic.
That was directed by a kid who won a radio contest to direct one of the scenes in I Know What You Did Last Summer. And
I love that.
he's actually credited with having one of the best horror scenes of all time.
It's iconic.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I wonder what he
Really?
They
would
literally
do.
repeated it in the sequel.
Where
I
is he
know.
now?
Where's that kid?
Yeah.
Deep in heroin. No, I'm just kidding. But that
actually-
kind
I
of
hope he's
success
doing
early,
okay.
though, dude. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. I mean, this movie, like, it really was like, you know, the blueprint of this sort of resurgence. That this movie and Scream were sort of like the slasher resurgence that we saw in the 90s that, like,
Yeah, I make
is
the
so good.
I make the argument that because if you've ever Scream was originally called Scary Movie, a lot of people know that, and then there was later a parody called Scary Movie.
Which I love.
Now, obviously, it borrows a lot from Scream, but the other big movie it borrows from is this film, where there's a whole scene with
What,
the beauty
Scary
pageant.
Movie?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah.
an incredible sequence in Scary Movie where the killer is after her after like this beauty pageant thing, and she's like getting her like legs chopped off, and she's like, oh wow, that really, you're so like, she's still playing into this idea that he wasn't really a killer and it was a prank, and meanwhile she's losing fucking limbs. Greatest little bit there. And I always so when I saw a scary movie, I saw it around the same time I saw I Know What You Did Last Summer when I was really young, and I would confuse the two scenes. So when I rewatched it in high school, I thought that there was going to be this weird that didn't fit scene where the girl was getting chopped in half. Like, you're not really killing me. I thought that was going to be in this movie. That was my sheep fucking moment for me.
I get things that happened in Scream confused with things that happen in Scary Movie all the time.
Dude, I know. And then can we talk about the cunt sister? Guess what she is? She's a cunt.
Oh my god, she's
Elsa.
over the top.
That Elsa is a cunt.
Yeah, I mean, like
Capital C, dude.
Yeah, like in the beginning, it's like, okay, this is like the sister relationship you have. I get that, but then like towards the end of the movie, it's like, okay, why are you such a bitch?
She's like, oh, you're slamming on the door because someone's trying to kill you. Big fucking deal. Like, no, bitch, someone's trying to kill her. Do you not understand?
Right.
Her death was the most satisfying kill. I really like the way they did that.
I don't know about that.
It was a nice one.
The
It
kills
was a
in this
good
movie
one.
are really good. I have to
But
say,
that
like,
one was
they're very
the best
gratifying
one.
kills.
So the director of this movie wanted it to have a lot of TV play because other horror movies were getting incredible amounts of TV play, Halloween and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the whole film was shot with essentially no blood. And when they took it to test audiences, there's no fucking blood in this movie. So the John Galecki murder scene was added where it's dragged across, and then there's tons of digital blood on this film.
Yeah.
I love that.
So like the whole original shot of this movie, no fucking blood. PG-13 horror movie.
But it needed
Wow.
that blood. I like the blood.
It did.
being
Yeah,
and
there.
the
Needed
one or
it
two
for
fucks
sure.
thrown in there, they need
Yeah.
that too. Because
I agree.
if that shit was happening to me, I'd be like, fuck! You know, I wouldn't be like, heck.
I just
What
really
the-
like
what in the freak?
Gold darn it!
I just
But,
really like the kill against the door with the sister. I
Yeah.
think that's a good one.
That really is a good one.
That whole, I can't remember Sarah Michelle Gellar's character's name. I can't remember it in my life.
Fuck.
I know her last name is
Jennifer?
Shivers. I think her first name is Helen. Helen.
Helen.
It's Helen.
Helen. So the Helen scene where she's going through the store and then to the alley, that's a really well-directed scene
Yeah,
because
it's a really
Yeah.
good scene.
you're so like, it's right, like the people are right fucking there. She's gonna make it. She's gonna make it to the crowd and then she's gonna be safe. And then he fucking kills her, and you can literally see from an overhead shot that she was so close to being saved. And that is like such a cool fucking thing to do.
Yeah.
My bad part about it though is, where the fuck does he come from when he grabs her? Because he was right behind her, like right behind her. And then she like looks around, she's like, salvation. And then he comes up in front of her. I'm like, that dude crawled by in the alleyway,
Right.
pop up on the other side.
You might have.
But overall, though, other than that little bit, which kind of bothers me, that's a really well-directed scene.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
watched this movie when I was like, the first time I watched this movie, I watched it when I was like a young teen. Like I was probably maybe like 13 or 14 or so. And I remember like making fun of the movie while we were watching it a lot, like making a lot of jokes about it. I think I think the reason is because it was like these tropes of slasher movies that we were all familiar with, and like I didn't realize at the time, like, no, this was the
beginning.
this
of that,
was
yeah.
the new slasher movie that we started making in the 90s.
Yeah.
And we joked a lot about the fisherman character. We would just call him the hooker. That was like the
love
continuous
that.
joke every time we would watch this movie. But I didn't realize then like how good this movie looks. And so I was like, when we were watching it last night, I was like, wow, this movie looks really good. Like there are really good shots in this movie. This movie is like, it's very well done. I really like it.
It's really purposeful with the shots.
Yeah.
And like, here's the thing too, is like a lot of, I mean, granted, these are most horror movies. There's a lot of sexualized shots. I don't know if I would say this movie is overtly that, but when it does it, it's like super effective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like when Jennifer Love Hewitt's hot, she's fucking smoking.
Right.
Oh my
Which
God.
sounds stupid, but at the same time,
It's true.
if you're trying to pull in the intrigue of like, this was the 90s, so this was getting right over the 80s where everything was just tiggle bitties everywhere and there's no
Right.
real horror. This is like when they were trying to pull away from that but keep the roots of like, these are sexually mischievous, misbehaving characters, which is like a big part of horror cinema. So
Yeah.
Right.
it was really cool that they were able to get that in the movie without being so cliche like every fucking horror movie from the 90s, which I love. I love those horror movies, but they're pornos. They're softcore porn. This movie was
Right.
not, but it was still sexy.
Yeah, it still gets a little sexy in there.
Still
for the
gets a
kids.
little sexy, you know, for the kids. Yeah, exactly. It definitely
Okay,
gets
laughing
TV
that
play.
the Logan says it, but I said it first. Wow.
It took a minute to sink in what you all said.
I think it's because it's so disgusting when they hear
It's
it from
gross,
me.
yeah.
They're like, ew, stop. Someone called me "Stop Dad" in like one of the comments. So
Stop,
stop, Dad. It's like, okay, I'll stop. But I mean, like the other.
Yeah, I mean, especially. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So the killer though is the biggest problem with this movie. When you finally see him and he's doing his shit, the wind is out of his sails. Like he is not just because he's on a boat. That was not on purpose. But he's just like got all the cool scariness ripped out of him because he's just like
He's just a dude.
Hey, that's somebody's dad. Like that's just a guy, you know. That guy.
Right. It would almost be better if you never really got to see like the real him TM.
Or just like if he talked too much. He's had the Scooby-Doo problem. Make him menacing and gross and all that shit, and don't have him talk because when he talks, I just feel like he's a guy that like
wow, this guy's been
goes
through
to
a
Tractor
lot,
Supply,
like,
you know,
and like he lost his daughter, and like that led to his mental break, and like we get that, and it's not like fun slasher like
And the thing is, he is gross. I mean, he has all these photos and everything all over. Like if he just didn't speak, it would be horrifying. And that's, I mean, we're gonna talk about it in a minute. That's even more emphasized in the sequel.
Ooh. Spoiler alert! Wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's a tough time. And
yeah,
also,
I mean, and like, yeah, I do think that's the issue is like, he doesn't need to talk. Like,
and the ending
Michael
sequence,
Myers don't need to talk.
Yeah,
Jason don't say shit.
Michael Myers, dude, the best.
Yeah, he don't say shit. He doesn't have to say shit. You know what the fuck he's about.
He's not a person. He's a shape, as the script says. You know,
right?
Michael's not a person. But the other issue I have with the end is really where it all just like it really fucks up at the end. They had like a Peter Pan like sequence where he's like flying up in the air. From
Yeah,
the
I was
rocks.
watching that and I was like, I was getting really sleepy by this point, and I was like, I don't know if I'm really tired or if that just didn't make no fucking sense.
It's a mixture. It's a mixture for sure.
I was like, how did that just happen?
And like, what's the ice at the bottom of the boat scene was cool, but then like, why did we leave it? Like, why did we come back up to them fighting on the sails again? Like, it just felt like I know what you did last summer on ice.
Yeah, I liked the scene when she was in like the ice.
Yeah,
and
that was fucking
and
horrifying.
it was a cool scene where she like found the bodies of them too, and then he like suddenly is there with his hook. Like that's a good scene.
It's a great. Yeah.
And Bridget asked, "Do you think that's actually ice or like?"
And then also she was just covered in water, and she has her skin on all this cold
I know.
ass
I was
ice.
like, oh, you know that's fucking cold as shit.
You know it fucking hurts, and it's getting her like she's getting freezer burnt like a bad tub of ice cream, dude.
Right.
She don't like that shit. So here we go again. I love asking this question. Who do you think we are in this film? Who is everybody?
I don't know.
I want to say that I'm like Julie, like I'm book smart and shit, and then also like a
You
big
would be the
drama.
bitch that was like, we need to tell guys.
Like, no, we can't.
Like correct.
Like, no, we can't do it.
Also,
And you're the one who like isn't like is so visibly affected too the whole time. You're like, this is fucked up.
yeah,
This is
that's
fucked
what I
up.
was gonna say. Like I'm book smart and I have all these plans, but then trauma comes and like
Hold
fucks
on
me
one
up.
second. Fran needs to speak because I'm worried that she just got disconnected. Speak.
Hello.
She's here. Okay. Her thing went totally down. I started fucking with her microphone. I was like, but yeah, I would like to think I'm Freddie Prinze Jr. just because he's the least bad option, but I'm probably more Galecki to be honest.
Which one's Galecki?
That's the fucking the
Is that Big
douchebag.
Bang
big
Theory?
bang in the being all those theories, dude.
Bazoinga.
Which is he? He's like the random guy?
The creepy one who's like, hey Julia,
I think his name is like Mike or Max or
we
something.
need to hang
Max.
Julia, I know you have no physical fucking interest
You
in
are
me.
not him.
And also, you have a boyfriend.
All right, well then I'll take Freddie because I do not want to put myself as the hothead because I don't think that's true.
No, I don't think that's true.
No.
I'm gonna give a hot head.
Franny,
Who am I?
yeah.
I think I'm the hothead. I think I'm a nice mix between the hothead and Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I don't know who I would be. I don't know. I think I'm Helen's bitch sister.
Oh my God, yes. You're Elsa.
I was thinking just because of all the past comments about your sociopathy, I'm like, maybe you're the killer. I don't know.
No, I was gonna say she's the fisherman because she never forgets a bitch.
I never do forget a bitch.
Those receipts.
She does.
I would say
I have those receipts and I'll send you a screenshot of
I
them.
love that she
Ooh.
never forgets a bitch though. That's so good.
She never forgets a bitch. She
But
doesn't.
no, I
She
think
doesn't forget.
I'm Helen's bitch sister, Elsa.
I love it.
Because I'm not gonna lie, that's a little bit how I talk to my sister, but that's how she talks to me too.
But,
So
but if she was on the verge of being murdered, you'd be like, okay, I love you. Come inside.
yeah, I mean,
You
yeah.
know?
Right.
Though
yeah.
she does claim this isn't true, but she does claim that one time when we were canoeing, she went to like get something that I had lost because it was a terrible time, and that like she almost drowned for it, but it's not true. So like she might say that to you at some point, but don't believe her.
All she's ever said is, who are you? And ran behind your father.
Oh yeah, because she thought that you were following
She
her.
thought I knew what she did last summer, dude.
She thought you done knew.
This is a great story. We were literally coming to like meet up with Madison and Bridget, and like
It was
we
just
like
me.
Oh yeah,
It was
just
just me.
you. Fuck, we were like picking you up, and we like pull down like they have one of those driveways where like they're the second house down the driveway.
Go ahead,
like, there's
go
a
and say the
house-
address. Go ahead and dox them.
Yeah,
There's a house in front of our house,
and
but we share a driveway.
and like we were pulling into that driveway, and I guess we just happened to come home the same time as Madison's younger sister, and I guess it freaked her out that somebody pulled down that driveway, so she went and got her dad. And
You
her
could
dad,
hear her screech.
yeah,
You could
you?
hear her screech, yes.
Did
You
she
really could.
scream really? Like
It
when
was
you
like,
when you
"Huh!
followed her, or was it just like when you got
didn't
out,
even
or
see
what?
it.
It was when we
No, we
pulled
didn't even get
into,
out.
once we got into the driveway, my window was down.
daytime too. Like it wasn't nighttime.
She's
like,
crazy.
No, it was nighttime.
It was
It was
definitely nighttime.
Okay.
She's a little. She's
And then
crazy.
my dad came out and had like a stern talking to me. Like came to the driver's side and was like, "What's your business here?" And I was
Hey,
like,
actually, no, what happened was we were like,
"He said, what's your business?"
no, let's break it down. I go, hey, what's up? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, are you Madison's dad? He's like, yes. What's your business
my
I
here?
said, "Is this the Madison's last name residence?"
Oh, yeah, that's what you
say
said.
that.
And then I asked, is this Madison's dad? And he goes, yeah.
I love
I
that
said-
because like that is not who he is like if you know him.
Right, no, not at all.
He's like the nicest dude, but like even
Well, we weren't. Well, to
not
be
him.
fair, if Bridget didn't tell anybody we were coming, so
Right.
we're just
I
creepy
thought
fucks.
No, I did. I'm pretty sure I told Madison's mom.
Like I
I
don't know, I
mentioned
wasn't
it, I
there, but like
thought.
the funniest thing about Ron is that like he's like the funniest guy and he's like super nice, but I've also seen him like almost whoop somebody's ass. So like it's the duality of him. He's a Scorpio. I don't know, like what does he hold inside?
He
So, yeah.
definitely came out ready for some shit.
Yeah, they
Like,
suspected we knew what you guys did last summer.
Yeah,
But he's a really nice guy. Like if you ever actually meet him for real, he's very nice.
I don't think we've met him for real. I think that's the only interaction we've had with your father.
I know.
I
wow.
saw him once in your kitchen, and I said, hey.
I've had a lot of
They're
And he
interactions
said
with
it.
dogs.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
That was the whole
And then
thing.
your mother's actually guest starred on the podcast.
She has.
She doesn't know.
She still doesn't know.
I mean, I think she knows, but she's never
Oh.
listened to it.
Why would, if I was, listen, I'm such a narcissist. If I knew I was on a podcast, I'd be like, I'm going to go listen to that right now. But maybe that's just me.
Like,
Is
oh,
that
that's
just-
also me.
Okay, good.
I mean, I would too, but I guess not everybody. I guess the Venn diagram of people who would immediately listen to something if they knew they were on it and also would make a podcast might be a circle.
Think about
Yeah.
this. 6,000 people have heard your mother's phone call, and she hasn't.
Right.
That's sad.
That's funny.
It's
Oh
very
my god,
strange.
I totally forgot about that. Anyways,
I'll have to tell her how many people it actually is
Yeah.
and see what she says.
Well, I guess we'll see. All right, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. What else about this movie? I don't know. It's like
The trunk scene's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous
the
thing ever.
trunk scene. Oh, the crabs. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes no fucking sense. Like, where did he go?
I mean, like, also, what's even funnier, imagine, like, somebody in the neighborhood and they just see a killer quickly scooping crabs out of the trunk. Like, so fucking fast. Like, she's coming back. And he's, like, pulling these
like,
crabs
like-
in a bucket.
and, like-
And then he runs on foot with a fucking barrel full of
That's the thing about
crabs.
this movie that kills me is the feasibility of it all. Because
it's negative.
Because like he put the crabs in there before she started driving, right? But then how did he get to where she was to remove the crabs
The
in
question
that
is-
quick of a turnaround?
And
Like
then
it just couldn't
is,
happen.
Is he just sitting underneath the crabs?
I
He's
think
like,
so.
Is he in there with the crabs? But then he wouldn't be able to get out because she like shuts the trunk real quick.
Well, I mean, I guess that's maybe the crabs helped him pick the lock.
The little.
He's just being carried away by
he just
crabs.
turns to Mr. Krabs like, I'll give you $1, and he's like picking the lock. So ridiculous.
I have another thing to say. All the porches that you see are amazing. Everybody has a wraparound porch.
I know.
Dude, the Property
dude.
Brothers went straight through there like they knew what people did last summer. Like they went everywhere and built
and
all
the
those
houses,
porches.
like I like the double decker like house thing where it's got like I forget whose house it is, but somebody has a house.
I think it's Julie's.
Julie's, yeah, Julie's house is amazing.
Helen, sorry.
Helen, yeah.
Helen's scene with the fucking hair is the most ridiculous,
God.
melodramatic,
But
over
it's
the
great,
top.
though.
Because
Right.
the script called for all of her hair being gone. It's like, no, I'm Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like,
That would have been amazing if she was like.
that would have been fucking horrifying.
I know that would have been such a
Right.
cool, like a good scene.
They
If
could
she
have
was
done,
like
like, a
Instead,
straight
like the
bald.
killer gave her like an ombre or some shit.
I love it.
They could have like
I don't know
used a bald
haircuts.
cap or whatever.
That just like
You know?
more reassures that is also me as a character because I would freak out over that minimal hair loss.
I mean, like if that
I would
bitch
flip.
looked like.
She like wore a hat like, I'm so frumpy now, even though I'm like the hottest bitch you've ever seen in your life.
and then she said,
Right.
and then, like
Right.
later in the on of the movie, she's like got her hair cut, and she's like, "Oh, it's fine. It doesn't even matter."
Yeah, the hat got too in the way, so we just decided that plot point was
Like-
gone. Just take it out of the movie. Like,
Like I wish to God that when that bitch woke up, she looked like fucking the Cynthia doll from Rugrats. Like that would have
She
been
looked
such a
like-
powerful fucking scene.
he looks like Ex Machina and shit. Like, oh
Like,
no!
Like he came in with a straight razor, like he got her bald, dude.
He like cut shit in the side of her fucking like fade like a fucking douchebag in high school. Like,
It's shaped like a star into the
it's
side
like
of
a
her
basketball on the side of her head.
Oh my
The Lakers symbol and shit.
The little Nike swoop, you know?
Wait, when you were the manager of a certain place and you had somebody come in,
Oh my fucking god! So I was the manager at a video store that's dying because all video stores are dying. Big tears. Now we can move on from that. This guy came in and like I was the manager and I was hiring for new people, and he was so fucking nice, so smart. Really knew like there was a bunch of Oscar movies that were like coming out onto Blu-ray because the Oscars had just recently passed. He was very like informed on movies and games and shit. I was like, this dude is too good to be true. And then when he's leaving, I'm like, hey man, I'll give you a call, but I got a good feeling about this. And then he took off his hat and he had a giant, fucking humongous UK tattoo on the top of his head. Biggest you've ever
University
seen
of Kentucky.
in your whole fucking life.
Oh my god!
And it wasn't even good, y'all. Like you would have been like,
Wait, you said it was a tattoo?
yeah.
Oh my
On
lord!
across his entire head from like his hairline to the back of his like neck.
Like
All
why even
UK.
take the hat off?
Well, I mean, so I told him, I was like, whoa. I went, whoa, which is probably not the right response. and he's like, my tattoo, I'm like, go blue, right? And he's like, do I not get the job? I was like, so I really like you, but I need to know that you're going to wear a wig every day because we're not allowed to wear hats. And I'm like, I will whole ass hire you. You can wear whatever kind of wig you want as long as it's not colored. And
Well, like the tattoo wouldn't be allowed. That wouldn't be okay.
on the
the job place is really conservative.
Family Videos, whatever. Fuck you, you're dying anyway. Family Video is a very conservative company, like really.
Even though they
I
have
had
a
to
porn
cut.
room.
I had to cut my own hair to get the job.
Wow.
They literally wanted me, but they're like, we can't hire you unless you get a haircut. And then the guy who was hiring me offered to pay for my haircut, which we
Wow.
didn't. I didn't
Even
take.
though they had a porn room.
The back doors.
Like, what the fuck?
You know, we'll tell those stories for bonus content.
Yeah.
We'll talk about my emotional scarring.
They're crazy.
They're
Just
pretty
so
fucking.
you know.
They are
So
pretty fucking nuts.
You could be,
They're pretty knuck and
encouraged
fuss, dude.
to get that Patreon content.
Yeah.
It's,
Hell yeah.
They're good stories.
Yes, and there's another occult pod coming eventually. But anyway,
Yeah.
So that was the biggest tattoo I think I've ever seen. I mean, just that fucking cat.
So
holding
did
that
he
UK
say
symbol.
no? He wasn't gonna wear a wig every day.
He said, I just feel like if I wear a wig every day, it's gonna come off weird. People are gonna ask why I'm wearing a wig all the time. I was like, that's true, and you can tell them. And he's like, that's embarrassing. I'm like, more embarrassing than having a giant UK tattoo on the back of your head.
Oh, you can't say that.
I sure fucking said it. Dude, we spent an hour in this interview and he didn't tell me. It says right in the interview box, do you have any facial piercings or any tattoos? If so, where? And he went, nope.
So why even take the hat off? Why even take it off?
I don't know. Maybe he was feeling comfortable. Maybe he wasn't thinking about it. It was hot. I also had another lady I interviewed and her kids were just running around yelling
She brought her children.
to the interview. She yanked one a couple of times. One of them was yelling racial obscenities at a black person who was a very nice person and has passed away since. Rest in peace, buddy. But the kids were literally yelling the N-word at this man. And so he leaned over and he said, "If I was your daddy, I'd whoop your ass."
I loved this
And
man.
literally the mom got so upset and I was like, you and your shitty kids. And I said it like that too. I was like, you can get the fuck out of here. Because he came in every day.
Yeah.
And they said that shit to him. I can handle being disrespected on my end. Like, I'll get through the interview and pretend like you have a chance. But when you got your kids yelling shit at my favorite dude, who told me I should take Franny to Niagara Falls for our honeymoon, who challenged me to a game of pool, who said that I was a heartwarming person. That's a good man who has since passed away. I'm not going to let them talk that way to him. So you get your shitty little kids the fuck out of my store.
Why the fuck are you bringing your multiple children to?
Oh, and like you're supposed to wear like dress clothes, and she's wearing like a crop top, and she's got like a fucking disgusting thing going on here. Not a tattoo, just something of unwashed flesh. You know,
On
she
her
got them.
titty?
She got them dirt lines, son. You know what I'm talking about?
Titty
Stop.
Looked like she walked through a fucking sandstorm before she came in.
Oh God.
Oh no! And if you can imagine, this certain family video wasn't in the best part.
Yeah. Anyway,
Man, I know what she did last summer.
yeah, this bitch has been fucked up the last couple summers. This bitch done made some mistakes these last few summers. Anyway,
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. What else do we have?
I mean, we have a whole nother movie to talk
Yeah,
about after
I mean,
this,
yeah, but I
we need to
like this
pause.
movie a lot more than I thought that I would, because I remember
Yeah.
watching it as a kid and making fun of it. But now that I watch it as an adult, I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty good.
it's not high art, but it's not like a low grab shitty horror movie.
It was fun.
Yeah, but it was really fun. It was well thought out in parts.
The soundtrack is really good.
Yeah.
and the location shots are
The
just
cast.
like amazing. Like
Yeah,
you,
like the opening, like aerial shots that they're doing are really cool. They look.
And
really
I love
good.
how many
Yeah.
scenes you see that like have become tropes since, like the mannequin scene with like the sister when they killed her.
Right.
Like, yeah, I feel like this is like an origin story of
my favorite
all horror.
is the pulley elevator. You know how many fucking pulley elevator scenes there have
yeah.
been since
Right.
this? That is the originator. Halloween
I love
H2O, I see you. I saw you do that shit. I know what you're doing.
I just love that like you're getting like a history lesson on like where these movies got those scenes from.
And the whole movie feels like you're like near the ocean the whole time.
Yeah.
Like not just because there's a bunch of fishermen and slackers, because there's a bunch of seafood anywhere.
Because you just know everyone
But
smells like fish up in
Just
there.
like the way the sound mixing was, it was almost like there was like a drafty air, you know? Like
Yeah.
there was like something coming
Though
off
I
the
will
water.
say one negative thing about the sound mixing is that at times this movie is extremely loud,
Yeah.
and
And
at other
extremely
times this movie
quiet.
is extremely quiet.
So my thing with that is that's another classic case of the 90s where they didn't sound mix the movies correctly
Yeah.
when they ported it over to DVD and Blu-ray. Christopher Nolan still can't seem to do that either. So I don't know why I had that dig Christopher Nolan. I just feel very strongly about it.
Like
Anyway,
I had to like ride the remote.
Yeah, Bridget was like on volume control.
why don't you just keep it low and do the subtitles?
I mean, 'cause you still want to hear what
I
they're
wanted to hear
saying,
what they're-
though.
Yeah.
But
And
then it's like we
also,
can't keep
it
it
was on
high
Amazon.
because we live in a house
You
with
hear
other
Freddie
people.
Prinze Jr. talk like this?
You know,
Why do you think it's me? I didn't do it. Don't put this on me.
I don't know if I should
That's
say,
really
but
good
I read a
impression.
really.
He was really shitty in this movie. He got a lot better as an actor as time went on, but he was a cardboard box. He's like, why are you trying to throw this all on me? Maybe because you're suspicious as fuck, motherfucker, and you're one of the 4 people who know what happened. You're the only one who know what happened last summer, you dumb fuck.
I don't know if I should say this, but I read this really terrible thing about Freddie Prinze Jr. And I don't know if it's true. This is like just solely an internet rumor that I read, but I kind of believe it. He's like one of those adult baby people.
I've
he
heard
likes
this
to wear
too.
diapers and shit. Okay, you've heard that
I've
too?
heard this too, and here's
okay, good. Because
here's
I'm
what
glad
else
that
is
you've heard it
crazy.
too.
So he did a Star Wars themed movie talk show with I can't remember his name. The dude who played Star Killer in the video games. What's his name? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think it's like,
I don't know.
I will never remember, but he's a great actor. They did this trivia thing and they did it live. And there was somebody in the audience who yelled, "You're a fucking baby," and he just nodded and laughed. And that's a part of like that's building up that rumor. Also, that's fucking weird, Freddie. Get some counseling.
Like, please get some help. And Sarah, are they still together? They're still
Yeah,
together.
they're still together. They're still
like
together.
Sarah,
Who?
shut that
Sarah
shit
Michelle
They're
down.
actually together in real life.
Yeah,
I
they've
didn't
been
know that.
married for.
Yeah,
Dude.
for like
I wonder if they're into
a
it.
gillion years.
I mean, I think he is.
Maybe she just pretends he's like a baby demon and she
hold
buffers
up.
him. You know?
But yeah,
Buffy's him.
that's my little Freddie Prinze Jr. tea.
Oh my
Slays him.
god! So I'm on this like random website because I searched it, and it's just like a Freddie Prinze Jr. feed, and it says, he has disappeared. What happened to him? I had such a crush on him, and it's posted by Anonymous. And this is 2011, by the way. And then somebody else said, I saw him taking a knitting class at Wild Fiber in Santa Monica last year. So I guess he knits.
Wow.
Maybe he knits his own diapers. Anyway.
Ew.
And then
Okay.
I said, this is very
no.
odd. Knitting, odd thing for a straight man to do.
Oh, okay.
Like, all right.
Y'all,
Hey, straight
remember
dudes
when
out
I
there.
said one of you should show me how to cross stitch? Don't anymore. I have to be more man now.
Somebody said,
Well, that's different than knitting, though.
Somebody said I've always confused him with Enrique Iglesias.
What? Okay, straight dudes, Freddie Prinze Jr. included. Baby thing notwithstanding, if you want to knit, fucking knit. Hobbies are not gendered, dude. Knit that fucking
Correct.
sweater.
Unless it's like something that actually is legitimately gendered.
Like, what do you mean?
Like female bodybuilding versus male
Oh,
bodybuilding.
well, yeah, but like, you know what I mean? Like, knitting is not a gendered hobby.
No.
Anybody can knit. Anyone can cook.
I knew it was coming around. I knew you were going to pull that right out.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
should we rate it real quick?
Let's rate it because I got to use the potty.
I'm gonna
I
go
got to
first.
get my diety like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Stop. Ew, 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 ew.
I'm just still reading this thing about what happened to Freddie Prinze Jr. Somebody else just said he's fat and has gay voice.
Literally,
It's me.
you laugh so hard the microphone spiked. When people listen to this, they're going to hear.
Can we I feel like we've been talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer for like 2 summers.
Yeah.
We gotta rate it. We got another movie to talk about.
I'm gonna say it's a 7.5 out of 10. All right, go.
I'm gonna give it a B minus.
That's a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 out of 10.
Woo! All right, I'm
Great,
going to go
love
potty.
it. Okay, bye.
All right,
I'm going to go potty
bye.
my diety.
So,
Never forgot what you did
I
last
still
summer.
know what you did.
The shower was a
little
dream.
bit ago.
What a fucking cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah, the end of the first film.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good ending. Like, oh, she died anyway. But no, just kidding. It was but a dream.
It was all a dream.
I thought that was a terrible ending, but that's okay.
I mean, I didn't think it was good either.
I kind of liked it. It was a good like frightening moment. You're like, oh.
Let's talk about the overtly racist and overtly disgustingly rapey dialogue throughout this whole film.
And we should
This
probably
movie
kind
is
of talk about the
very-
plot.
I can't even say. I fell asleep.
Actually,
Oh,
Madison,
Yeah.
you know, I think you're the perfect person to try to explain the plot.
So okay.
Madison slept at the end of it because she
I
had a
slept
month. She had a month to watch it, but she decided last night.
Yeah, I slept through about the last probably 45 minutes or so, maybe 30,
That's
45
a lot
minutes.
of the movie.
It's a lot of the movie.
Did you see Titus?
Oh yeah, I saw Titus.
She saw Titus.
I saw more of Titus than I cared to. So basically, this is what I recall: is we're back with Julie, Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's in college. She's got a sassy black friend, and they just won some tickets on the radio to go to Jamaica.
By the way,
Right? Is it Jamaica?
it's a. Wait, I don't remember what.
Or is
No,
it
it's the Bahamas.
Wait, then why are they all
Bahamas.
doing like these weird Jamaican accents? Because
Yeah.
it's racist?
Because it's
Yes,
the Bahamas.
Okay.
Because it's racist. Also,
Yeah, but they make a joke about that. Like that guy stops doing the accent at
Yeah,
one
I
point.
mean, they
like
do
he
make
does it
that
for
joke.
the tourists.
okay, that's true. But then what about the older?
But there's a lot of other
What
racist
about the
shit
older
going on.
black man
Yeah,
who's into voodoo?
exactly.
Anyway, not the point. I want to break this part down real fast.
Okay.
The twist in this movie is eliminated by Google.
Yeah.
I have to say that I fell for it because I also thought it was Rio. And then I was like falling half asleep and then I realized like, oh no, it's not Rio. Like when they were having the moment on screen,
Yeah.
I was also having the moment.
You're like, what's even
Like
worse
they were
is
trying to answer the question. I was like, Rio, you dumb bitch.
what I think is so funny too is like you could be watching that movie with a know-it-all, like, of course it's Rio. They're fucking stupid. That's a dumb. You know, like there's gonna
That's
be
exactly
somebody.
how I was. I was
That's
like, it's
literally-
fucking Rio, you dumb shit.
That's literally what she said, and I was like, okay.
that
I mean,
like-
she's She probably knows. I don't
Franny
know.
instantly was
Common
like, "That
thing.
smells fishy." Googles it. I'm like, "You can't Google during this movie. We're watching it in the '90s."
It's really
or
sad.
in 2001, actually. I think
It's really sad though because I took a class like literally last semester where for whatever fucking reason we had to know all the countries in Latin America and their capitals.
That's why I thought you
Why?
knew it.
I know. I don't know why.
Stupid.
I don't know. But you think I would have known, but I didn't.
so. It was a good twist for you.
I guess I didn't really care at that point, but I guess
I mean,
I stopped caring
You-
about the things
but
happening in this movie.
Most legitimately, you didn't see it coming though, so that
Well,
makes
no,
it a
yeah.
good twist.
Well, I figured that the fisherman dude was going to be behind it anyway. Like behind
Of
them
course,
getting to
yeah.
the island, so
Yeah.
I didn't really. I wasn't like, oh god, this trip isn't what it seemed to be. Like,
Funniest thing about this movie is that the Freddie Prinze Jr. character, I never remember his name. We'll call him Billy
Ray,
Blue.
Ray.
Well, I want to
Ray.
call him Billy Blue because that sounds like a porno name, and it makes me laugh. So Billy Blue had shooting conflicts. So the reason why he's barely in this fucking movie is not to further along the plot. They couldn't get his ass in the movie. So most of the scenes where he's there and the rest of them aren't were shot like after.
I love that.
Isn't that fucking ridiculous?
Yes.
And like the whole time in the movie, you're like, why is he not there? Like, is this so the other character can like get involved with her? And like that sounds like the reason, but it's fucking not.
And his whole storylines just stressed me out because like you should fucking let people know when you're traveling, god damn it. And like he didn't, and that was like literally the whole catalyst of his events.
Not only
was,
that, but like, why did he get mad that she wanted to go to the Bahamas? Like, what a fucking tool!
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
I went to propose to her next to these clams. I'm angry.
and so yeah, back to the plot of which I remember, the plot that I remember.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
before we say too much.
Like so the sassy black friend wins these tickets to go to the Bahamas, and Julie does not want to go back to Maine because she has trauma associated with Maine.
Yeah.
She knows what she did last summer, and
yeah, she
so
can't
do
fucking
they.
forget that shit. Which, by the way, before we continue, I still know what you did last summer. That title does work, but not for the reason we said. It's referencing the fact that of their fight. The title itself, because people are always like, it should be I still know what you did 2 summers ago. No. The character is in referencing that they had that bout last summer.
Oh,
That's
I
the
see,
reason
okay.
that the writers gave. So there we go. I just wanted to clear that
Fair
up.
enough.
I mean, all right.
But Freddie
I'll
Prinze
take
Jr. is upset because she doesn't want to go to Maine, and she's like, "Well, why don't we just go to the Bahamas?" And he's like, "No, I'd rather be with the crabs."
Well, he has to work. It's just,
No, he doesn't. He lied about that because he was pissed at her.
yeah.
But
True.
anyway, so he doesn't want to
Insert white friend here was like, you should go. I'm going to go with
No.
you.
You mean
No.
Oh,
Freddie
yeah.
Prinze Jr.'s friend was like, we need to go. You need to propose to her. I'm going to get lit. Let's do this. And it's
Yeah.
like, why the fuck are you here?
So Julie goes with her friends, her friend who won the tickets, the friend's boyfriend who's weird, and then another male friend of theirs
Who
that
their
is,
friends
that is
are being,
sweet
like-
on Julie.
and her friends are being such dicks. They're very overly aggressive with her, like trying to force this man upon her.
Yeah, it's really
Right. They're,
fucked
like,
up.
really
They don't
trying to get her
respect their
with this
relationships
guy.
at all. Like, at all.
Yeah.
So they all go, and meanwhile,
respect
as
Julie
we
at
said,
all,
Freddie
clearly.
Prinze Jr. is trying to also make his way to the Bahamas to propose to Julie and surprise her because he thinks that after everything that she's been through, a surprise is exactly what she would want. She would want a man to follow her to a place without her
point.
knowledge and surprise her in an unexpected turn of events. It sounds like exactly what Julie would want after all that she's been through.
Good fucking point. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah, it's bad.
But anyway, so they're in the Bahamas now, and this island's like deserted because it's the off season and the rains are coming, and
It's a
weird
hurricane.
shit
Hurricane
starts happening.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the actor from Reanimator is the hotel desk lobby guy. Love that guy.
Also, like, I relate to that hotel desk lobby guy so much.
His astute racism? You mean his aggressive racism?
His
No.
racism.
Yes.
What do you mean?
He's fixated on the only black man the whole time. He's like, you're trouble.
I thought he was saying that to the kids in general.
No, dude. Dude,
Maybe I was like half asleep, but just like
Lebowski is like the most racist.
is it
shit.
really?
It's
I was like
bad.
must
It's real
have
bad.
been. I mean, this is the point when I started to like kind of doze off a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I remember specifically a scene where
You'd have thought he had like a Blue Lives Matter shirt underneath his suit. That's how bad it was.
I just remember specifically
Yeah.
a scene when they were like, you know, we need to call the Coast Guard, like it's an emergency, and he's like, no, it isn't, because that's how I feel talking to
said,
people at my
"No, it
job.
ain't."
Like, because that's how I feel talking to people at my job.
What is it with us watching movies where Coast Guards are just fucking off? The Coast Guard is
I don't know
in
what happened to
cinema.
the
The
Coast
Coast
Guard.
Guard is the least fucking reliable source at
Yeah,
all
but
times.
like skipping over all the problematic elements just for the sake of plot summary.
Yeah.
Weird shit starts happening to Julie, to my recollection. I think she sees a dead body. I don't really remember. Maybe it was in her closet.
People are so like gaslighting to Julie the whole time.
Yeah,
too.
people like keep telling
fuck.
Julie like, no, it's not real. It's not happening. Even though they all know her history, presumably.
Well, they don't know entirely.
Yeah, but
It's
I mean,
kinda
they know
told
that
at the
she's been
end.
through an experience or something.
Actually, here's the other thing too. They think this is actually a plot point that I can almost argue. All the characters think that fisherman died,
yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
and then she goes, "Nope," and they're just like, "What in heck? You should have told us that before. Of course we believe you. If he's not fucking dead, then clearly he's
Well,
doing
yeah, I
this."
thought at the end that they just couldn't. They never found the body.
Yeah, but she didn't say that to them. She said that he was definitely dead. There's actually
Yeah.
a plot point moment where she goes, you told me he was dead. And she's like, no, they never found the body. I thought he was dead. Which
Yeah,
is
no, I mean-
essentially like, he here.
You were
Right.
asleep.
Oh, okay, but yeah, so like
Bridget, I feel like Bridget has so much catharsis from this.
I
Like
know,
being
Bridget's
able to
like
be
having
like,
her moment.
yeah.
you were fucking asleep.
So
you dumbass.
and then like meanwhile, while all this is happening to Julie, Freddie Prinze Jr. somehow ends up in the hospital due to a run-in with the fisherman.
Yes.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because how can the fisherman be in the Bahamas
Well-
and also be chasing after Freddie Prinze Jr.?
It's explained. The fisherman's
is.
son is the guy that like
Don't tell her. Don't tell her.
don't tell
She still
her.
has to explain the rest of the movie without
She's giving
knowing.
you the side of like fisherman's son.
No, I have no idea. So he ends up in the
She has to
hospital.
finish explaining.
And then I think, and that's kind of where it all begins to fade away. Oh
Yeah.
no, but I remember what's his name, Jack Black.
Titus.
Fuck, Titus. I remember him
He's
dying.
a living meme.
I remember
Yeah.
him dying
His
His
death was
hair.
in the
weird.
film.
His death was
The
weird.
funniest
Yeah.
scene is his death scene where he's like the killer's looking at all the different knives, like, no, not that one, no, not that one, and then they kill him,
Yeah,
and
it
you're
is
just
kinda
like,
funny.
you're like, let's knock out this cartoon character the way he came in, fucking ridiculously.
Right.
He literally approaches yet again the one only black gentleman, like, yo, you want to smoke some weed
Yeah.
with Titus, the boy named Titus, who's got the weed, and you're just like,
It's terrible.
get the fuck out of here, Jack Black. You're ruining your legacy right now.
Yeah. And then I remember at one point it seemed like the older black gentleman who was into voodoo.
Yeah, super into voodoo.
It seemed for a moment like he was behind all of the weird shit that was happening, but actually I think he was trying to save them.
Yes.
Question mark. Either way, it's still problematic, but I think that
He knew something was wrong because he was the one who knew the capital not being Rio de Janeiro. He knew. So when they said that, he's like, something is amiss. I better break out these wax dolls and stuff.
yeah,
And
it's
steal their
regardless.
personal belongings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's problematic regardless, but like whatever.
Yeah. And another good thing too was the killer hated Julie so much that he actually changed the karaoke machine to be like, I know what you did. Like, you know
I
how much,
saw that.
You know how much fucking time that would take?
Yeah, like, how does that even-
Because you don't know what song she's going to pick. You had to do that to every fucking song.
Right, and then also it's like, how do you even do that? Because it's the 90s, so it's not like it's like a YouTube video. It's like you have to fucking digitally alter a
Yeah.
DVD
And now- and-
or a VHS
And like,
or
what
whatever.
was the bartender doing while this kid was messing with all the things, like changing all the lyrics?
Yeah, and then that's kind of where it all begins to fade away. I think Freddie Prinze Jr. shows up eventually.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And I remember him breaking out of the hospital and getting a gun.
Yes,
And he trades her ring for a gun.
pawned it. He pawned
Wow.
it. You can still get it back.
How romantic.
And then they were like, You're gonna have to do some
Like,
paperwork. He's like, I ain't doing no damn paperwork.
Like Uncut Gems. Like we saw you stealing from this.
So they get the gun. He gets the gun.
And I guess he presumably goes to like shoot the fisherman.
He goes and gets on a plane. And then after
Okay.
he gets on the plane, he gets on a boat. And then once he's on the boat, he drives to the island. And then once he gets on the island, somebody else arrives at the same time.
Who is it?
Do you want me to just spoil it now?
Yeah, I think we.
So
I
the
think I
killer
know.
on the island the whole time was creepy Mr. Not Freddie Prinze Jr., Mr. Still Trying to Slam Jennifer Love Hewitt's
Wait,
son.
what?
That's the guy's
the
son.
fisherman's son. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they were like two places at
And
once.
then his name is actually a play on words. I don't remember his name.
It's
His name's Will, isn't it?
Will's son.
It's Benson.
Will Benson. Yeah.
Will Benson. He's like, Will Ben's son, bitch.
Yeah. He really does say that.
It's so
Yeah.
fucking stupid. I'm
It's
sorry.
so bad. It's so
It's really
bad.
not
I told
good.
you this one was worth watching for that reason.
Oh my
I
god.
hated it.
So-
I hated it so much. I
So
was like,
that's
why the fuck
Will
is
was like so fucking weird and like all the whole time.
Uh-huh.
I thought he just wanted to fuck her.
I mean, that could have been a part of it, but I feel like it was also because he wanted the murderer for his dad.
So they like wrote this son in.
Yeah, Will Ben's son.
Will Ben's son.
And then Ben shows up on the island the same time Freddie does, and Freddie's like,
You mean Ray?
fuck you, who cares? It's Freddie
Whatever,
Prinze
it's fucking
Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
They're gonna understand better if I call him Freddie Prinze Jr. They know.
I thought
you
who the
said
fuck is
Ben.
Ray?
Yeah, they're like, Ray. You've been saying Freddie this whole time. The fuck is Ray?
Sorry, my bad. God, I'll just quit.
Well, I mean, you snapped at me. I snapped back. Anyway,
Okay, I'm sorry.
this is gonna. People are gonna be like, "Wow, Logan's a real dick" in the comments.
they're gonna start saying to you what they said to Madison about me in the
Like,
comments.
leave Franny alone.
Yeah. She clearly doesn't want to be a part of this. Like, she's on the podcast. Clearly, she does. Anyway,
I was so mad at you, Logan. I was so mad that you made it. You were like, no, the second one's so good. You have to watch it. You have to watch it. I don't know.
no. I was being sarcastic, y'all.
But I didn't pick that up.
And the whole reason too is if you guys. So it's the same thing with Vanilla Sky. If you guys are prepared for how bad it is, you're not gonna want to watch it.
Yeah.
And like, also, we're gonna know. We're not gonna.
Like you were waiting the whole time for it to get good, and it didn't happen.
I was so upset.
That's what makes
You
this
like
great
the first
content.
one is so good. Like it's so sad.
And
that
I
the
will say
second-
this too about the second one. It has a great atmosphere.
And you were saying we shouldn't watch the third one.
No, the third one's not funny bad. Like it's just actually if you listen in the podcast, I actually say the second one's bad. But
I
the
didn't-
third
Great.
one is so bad it's not even like watchable. So I actually did tell you it was bad.
I'm sorry. I must have blocked that out, and I thought that you were like, yeah, no, it's good. And I was like, okay, all right. And I was waiting for it to get good, and it didn't get good.
and waiting and waiting.
And I was like, getting angry. I was like, why the fuck are we watching this? I thought it was gonna be good, Logan, but Madison was asleep, so she can commiserate
it's
with me.
good
I didn't
content.
direct it. See, but now you know how Madison feels when you fall asleep during a movie and she's the one who's got to ride the boat alone. You had
Yeah.
to finish that movie for the sake of the
I mean, at
pod.
the point when I fell asleep, like I probably could have gone to sleep during the first movie, but I was enjoying the experience of watching it.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where I was like, I don't think I care about this, and I just kind of fell asleep.
That's why we watch
It
movies
wasn't worth it.
Like, I
before
was-
the night before the podcast.
Shut up.
I'm just saying.
So
I was
so,
just like,
so was it like revealed that? The thing I don't get is, how did they ensure that she would win this radio contest?
Because it's not real.
it's not real.
It's a fake radio contest.
He like Will Ben's son like does like the voice in front of
Yeah.
her. Like
He's like,
he
"You're
just
cool."
called
Yeah.
them.
Which,
Remember, he
like-
called
and, like, said-
called them and said,
Yeah.
"You're on the radio with Big Butt Kiss."
Yeah, they didn't
Wait,
like enter
like,
this
he called
contest.
them?
Yeah.
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 Which
and they
is
just
odd.
took it at face value, like, "Oh, it must be the radio calling me right now." This
Yeah,
is
the
great.
radio just
And she
decided to
also
call
said, like, my number's unlisted.
Mm-hmm.
you. Yeah.
They're literally
So,
telling
like-
you the whole time, like, "Shit ain't right, fam."
Like, also, I feel like this movie took, like, Scream's twist ending.
Well, I don't
In
know
a
if it's
way-
written by the same guy, so he might have taken his own twist ending.
I mean, if that's the case, he took his own twist ending and, like, made it into a much worse film. And I was like, I could have just watched Scream again.
You know what
I would
upset
have
me the
been
most?
so happy.
Jennifer Love Hewitt's bangs were gone.
Can I just say,
I didn't like her new look. I liked her first look.
the recreation though in the rain, ridiculous. Most ridiculous shot I've ever seen in my whole
Yeah.
life. But at least
Yeah.
at least they tried to pay an homage to it, but it was not good.
They should have just had that kid directed again.
That's right. They should have this kid direct this whole fucking movie.
Right.
You know, because it was not good.
I feel like a big like downside to this movie versus the first one, which like the first one, like I feel like you understood the characters' motivations a lot better than you did this one. Like what
also,
the fuck, right?
not the understanding of the motivations. The characters had motivations. These
Right.
characters are just like,
Like, fuck it, let's go
What's
to
wrong?
the Bahamas.
what's wrong?
Pause.
Pause
Hold
it. Ace.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah, Titus sold us some weed and all that.
Sorry, I thought there was a ghosty experience, but turns out it was a bug.
Like, we got to talk about Titus for a second because
Oh no, we don't have to talk about Titus.
No, I think it's important.
I think it is too.
I
Because
know.
here's my thing: the first film is. It kind of leans into the fact that it's like a slasher movie, and it plays with these like slasher movie tropes, and like is a little bit self-aware of it. In the second movie, I feel like they're trying to do that even more. Like, but it feels like they're trying to do the scary movie version of this movie.
Yeah.
Like the scary movie parody of this movie, which has already been done. It's Scary Movie. And like, it's just very strange. And so this Titus character is obviously not supposed to be like, oh no, Titus died. Like,
Well, actually, they put him in the movie so fucking much.
yeah.
I think
and
they
it's-
wanted people to like him.
Really?
I really do feel like that was their effort.
So bad though.
They put him in. Remember, it's 97, y'all.
Yeah.
Weed jokes are awesome. How high's either coming out or came out already? They want to play on that whole stoner humor thing. Remember, this is the height of Jay and Silent Bob.
I mean, yeah, but like, it's just, he's so cringy.
But-
and like, he's trying to be like down, and
Also
like,
the
he's got the
hair.
dreads,
But
and like,
but yet again, we're viewing this through the eyes of seeing that that's cringy now. But I argue that it was just a bad writer.
you think it
who-
wasn't cringy then?
I think it was, but I think it was an effort to not be. I don't think it was intentionally cringy. They're trying to say they're not trying to get you to dislike him. I really think they were trying to get
See,
you to
I feel
him.
like I got the sense that character was like them doing like the spoofy version of this movie.
At the same, yeah, but at the same time, I think
But then
he was.
also no.
I think he was really a comic relief character that we were supposed to be like, man, that guy sure is funny when he comes in and talks about weed and wears a shirt in the pool and swims away. Like that's what they wanted us to feel.
Yeah,
But
I would
that's
kinda get
not
that
what
too.
fucking
because
happened.
why else would they cast Jack Black too? Was he like?
I mean, he
famous
wasn't
at
like
the
super
time or
big
no?
then, but he was a known comedian.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would love to meet Jack Black someday and just be like, I loved you and I still know what you did last summer, just to see what happens.
I bet he gets it from somebody. Horror fans are so intense, dude. If you're in a horror movie, you
I
have
wonder
fans for
what he
life.
thinks about that movie now and those choices. Because I love Jack Black, unironically. I think he's great.
Yeah, he's super funny. But I feel
but
like
not in this movie, to be clear.
whenever somebody's in a horror movie, though, that fandom is what will just always be there. Like people who are even in like a small scene, like somebody got stabbed with a pitchfork in Halloween 4.
That's
and
always
they're
been my
forever
dream,
famous.
though, to walk up to a celebrity and like say their most obscure movie, and I almost had the fucking chance.
You really did.
I literally did. So Craig Robinson was in my work, and I was like staring at this guy the whole time because like I was with another customer because I work in like a very like hands-on retail setting, and I was like with like a customer, and like I was staring at this guy. We make eye contact so many times. I was gonna walk up to him and be like, do you hear a lot that you look like the guy from The Office? And like I was literally watching the Pineapple Express the night before with Logan, and like, but like something happened to where like I had to like instantly leave right after my customer, and then I fucking get texts from my work, and I was like on our walkies the whole time. I was like, that's a celebrity, and everybody was like, who the fuck are you even talking about? And then they all got like to meet him and like talk to him and shit right after I fucking left.
That's
I was
upsetting.
pissed. Oof. Apparently he comes in semi-regularly. Like he's been in
Does he
before.
like live
so.
in the area? Like,
I don't know. I think he just tends to visit the area, and like we're a store that like accommodates him. So
So let's try not to dox him. Just be careful.
yeah.
Do not dox the man.
yeah, well,
I've heard he's made an appearance one time prior, and like
Appearance.
appearance. But yeah, I was so fucking excited to tell him I loved him in Pineapple Express and never got the chance.
Oh,
I know.
That's tough.
Maybe this podcast will connect us one day. If
But
anybody
yeah,
has
I don't
connections to
know.
Craig Robinson, let me know.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, and this movie's just problematic in like a myriad of ways that like any enjoyment one might get from it is like squashed by the just kind of grossness of it.
And it might have the worst directed club scene I've ever seen in a movie. All the music's like really quiet and they're like, hey, how's it going? Well, things are going really well. And like all the music.
Yeah.
And like everybody can clearly hear each other like all the way to the other side of the room. Hey, Derek, why don't you come on over here with those potato grillers? He's like, all right, sure thing. Glad this club music's at a level that people play lo-fi beats while they're studying.
And Julie was like, what'd you say to like Will? And I'm like, you can hear him.
And Will's just like, hey, Julie, how are you doing? And she's like, what did you say? Things are so loud in here.
And then, like, why did, like, the insert black friend here have to have, like, the creepiest boyfriend ever? Like, he said the most rapey things to her all the time.
He was a total dick the whole time.
Yeah, he was, like, just, like, trying to fuck her all the time. And, like, situations would occur where he couldn't. And he would be, like, the most pissed. And I'd be like, dude, you're on vacation with three other people. Like, it's going to happen. And,
like, he said very not okay things to her, like, in the bar setting before you even know who the dude is, and it was very uncomfortable to even listen to.
And he's like also really terrible to Julie too.
Yeah,
like Julie's like having a moment, like she's
bad.
upset because this trauma is like coming back to haunt her, and he's like, Julie, can you not do that right now because I'm trying to bang my girlfriend?
Yeah,
like he
you,
doesn't
Julie.
say that, but that's what he says. You know what I mean?
The characters all feel like everything is Julie's fault too. Like, oh my God, they're all so hard on Julie, and she's just having difficulties.
So
really
my
is.
question is about this movie. When Freddie Prinze Jr. finally shows up, like what does he do?
He brings a gun.
Right.
He tries to shoot the killer.
Does it work?
But the gun jams.
No.
She gets the gun and fucks them up.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, I think it was like a moment of like, we're not going to give him the kill.
Which
Let's give it to her.
Is dumb because it's a revolver and revolvers are known for not
that was the other thing we were talking about. Your revolver jammed. Revolvers don't jam.
I was like, can revolvers jam?
No.
I don't think it works like that.
They
and then
cannot.
They have like a dumb explanation shot where like you see the clip and
the
it
clip
has
has missing bullets in it.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
that
no.
still doesn't really.
They added that shit in post.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, "That's a revolver, dumbass." Like, get Freddie Prinze Jr.'s hands in here right now.
Like it doesn't even have to be his hand.
That like
He's like still in his baby outfit. They're like, we won't shoot his body. We'll just get the hands. Drops his binky.
Especially because I feel like if you're gonna bring a revolver to come and shoot this like serial murderer plus his son, you're gonna make
He didn't know his son was involved.
Yeah, I know, but if you think you're coming to shoot this like serial murderer, you're gonna make sure your gun has fucking bullets.
You know what my dead ass response was at first? I said, "Did that fucker not buy bullets?"
Because he did just buy a gun and
I
walk
thought
out.
he didn't buy bullets
That
too.
actually would have been a better
explanation.
Don't get me wrong, fucking dumb.
Like if
but
he was
it would
just
have
going
been
and
better.
going and going and
But
like
then
didn't even
also
think.
my thing is too, if he believed that the fisherman was after him in like where he was, then why would he go to
he
Julie?
thought the fisherman thought that he was dead.
Oh,
'Cause-
I see.
Right,
Okay.
because
moved
of
on
the-
to go get Julie.
Yeah. So he assumed he was after Julie next.
Gotcha.
Still not a great plot.
Sorry.
It was all just awful.
It's contagious.
Yeah, and then just like I don't know. It's just this movie's just like weirdly racist. And like even if they were trying to make the Titus character like a cringy like spoofy character, it doesn't like put aside the fact that they've got this like older black dude who's into voodoo who magically saves the day.
Also, like
Such a fucking
just because you
trope.
make a character a certain way doesn't mean it works. Even if they meant for him to be that cringy and awful.
Right.
That doesn't
mean
make
it's
him a good character in the movie. It just
It was
means you were
horrible.
effectively shitty.
Like you could take all of Titus out of this movie and it really wouldn't
Yeah,
change.
Well,
I
you
mean-
would lose 20 minutes of the film because
Yeah.
they really focus on his ass.
And then
They really do.
The Final Destination-esque like fucking tanning bed scene. Did you
okay,
see
but that was
I do
first though,
remember
and
that.
that's an
I know.
iconic kill scene.
I
though.
know, but I
That's
love that.
that tanning bed thing came first, and that's where that bit of tanning bed horror started.
It stressed me out. It made me
The director of Final Destination 3 said he lifted that scene from that movie. So if you like that tanning bed kill, which some people do, that is attributed to this shit movie.
well,
I
it
like
didn't
it.
kill her.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
almost did.
Honestly, like
was
I have to
stressful.
say, more than like the fear of skin cancer, if that scene in Final Destination is what has kept me out of tanning beds.
Also, like, I should have seen those tig old bits. She's gonna get tanning lines. We all deserved it. If she's gonna get in the fucking
Oh my
tanning bed,
god.
we should have saw something.
Like there's no better excuse for horror movie titties.
yeah, like if she can't produce it, put a different girl in there, please. Thank
Oh my
you.
God.
This movie's boring as fuck. Give me something to be interested in.
And like Sarah Michelle gellar isn't even there because she died in the last
Yeah,
one.
she died in
Yeah,
the
I was
last one.
upset, and I'm like, well, why am I watching?
Because it's great content.
It is great content. I will give you that.
It's a hot
Are you
toddy.
guys ready for ratings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning so much, guys.
It's a 1.
It's a 1 for me, dog.
I thought you were saying it was 1 o'clock.
Oh, if it was 1 o'clock, I'd be.
It's got a 2.
Like a D minus.
I think there's some good stuff in it.
It's not all bad.
The atmosphere is really great. I like all the raining and the island isolation bit of it. Like, it's cool that they were able to give us a summer feeling in a film and still make it isolating and not have it be just dark the whole time. I thought that was a cool idea. If only it was done with real characters and a story.
it was just not. It just wasn't it. I feel like I Know What You Did Last Summer is not a movie that needed a sequel.
No. They should have just ended it with her dying in the shower.
Yeah, could have just left it at that.
I would have been happy.
If you're going to do a sequel, why not make it good? You know?
What I
Like-
asked Logan, like,
why
right before
not do
watching it.
unanswered questions, right? Like, there was a legitimate murder mystery essentially, and this guy killed people and he's missing, and there are parents to the children that were fucking murdered. Why aren't we going off of that bit? Why aren't we picking an interesting point to bring up in the story?
I thought it would have been better as like an anthology series, like do another group of kids. That,
Yeah,
like,
but
did
then the whole
something
I Know You Did Last
stupid.
Summer thing is like, then it turns into that weird app where you get texted scary stories, you know?
Yeah.
Or I mean, like even like it could have stayed
I was gonna
focused
say the
in the
name, but I
same
don't-
town, and
I don't
now
remember it.
I know
Like
it.
something
I just-
else with like
it's
that
hooked.
like curse type
What?
thing.
well,
called
and like
Hooked.
Hooked, yes, that's it.
like I feel like it could have been like
I wrote
now
it.
this.
Yeah, they have TV now as well.
Now this like fisherman is an urban legend in this main town because of what happened, and
it
then
could've
he
been,
starts
like,
coming back
modern,
and
yeah.
killing more people.
Maybe
Like
maybe
that
people
that could have been the sequel.
maybe somebody like, you know, he finds somebody who also killed somebody else, and it's like a part of this like whole like ritual thing, you know?
Yeah, and
Or-
like
or
there's so
even-
much focus on urban legends in the first movie. Like he becomes that now. Like he becomes the embodiment of that hand hook card
Or someone
hand
accredits
door.
someone accredits deaths that he didn't do to that
Right.
person. So he comes back, he's like, I didn't kill that person, but now I'm gonna fucking kill you, bitch.
Yeah, so like I think that would be a cool way to do the sequel instead of like shoehorning this random son in that was never
Ben Will's
previous.
son. He's Will's son.
You know he's Will Ben's son.
He's
Oh,
Will
fuck.
Benson. Yeah, you're right.
But like it just wasn't. It just didn't need to be there. And if it did need to be there, not this way.
Yeah, it's a tough time.
It's not good.
Well, guys,
Well, what are we doing next week?
we're gonna do the Big Lebowski's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
and then
the special
should we
guest
say what's
star.
happening the week after that? Because I don't think we said it on the Big
Yeah.
Lebowski because we didn't know at the
Yeah,
time.
pulp, fiction,
Fictional pulps.
fictionally pulpy.
So yeah, big
Like
like
the orange
wow, that's like
juice.
two big classics in a row.
That's just how it works out sometimes. Don't worry, we'll do some more trash somewhere after
Yeah,
that.
we'll do dumb shit too. But
If you guys really, really want us to do I Will Always Know What You Did Last Summer, I won't do it. No, I'm just kidding.
You
Leave a
have
comment.
I'll
to,
do-
you
I'll
have
do
to
it if you
donate $100 each to Patreon.
No.
$100 each. No, we can do it if people really want. If it's what the people want, we should do Scream at some point though. I like Scream
I
a lot.
agree.
I think Scream would be good. I think also we're getting a lot of messages of like recommendations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to.
I think
really
we'll do some of those. Yeah.
But I do want to say, for a long time, we've had it as like a Patreon tier. Is like you get to pick stuff that we talk about.
Sure.
So I mean, we're still gonna do what people recommend because that's
It's
what we
early.
want. That's what we want to do.
Yeah, and
but
it's
also
early.
like if you want to like guarantee
Like
that your suggestion at some point gets talked about, we can make that happen
That's
for
the
you.
best way to do it.
Yeah. And you can get personal fanfic written by a published author, Bridget.
And like we'll shout you out. We
Yeah.
shout
Third
people
time
out, and
published.
we've proven that we do that
We
in this
did do it.
episode.
We did do
We
it.
take extra special care to get people's names right.
We literally love you.
We'll put our faces on video.
I think it's really funny you said we take special extra care to.
I know. I did it to make fun of Bridget. She didn't even react.
No, I heard you. I just wasn't engaging.
You were just above it.
Bridget's like already above her fans. She's like, whatever.
Just whatever. Fucking I
Whatever,
don't care.
dude.
Whatever your fucking name is.
They consume the content I make. That's all there is. There's no attachment.
She starts walking only in public in like hats and sunglasses and hoods up and like won't acknowledge anybody.
It's so hard being me.
They're like, hey, Bridget. And I'm like, oh, do you know me by my work?
Oh, sorry. Can somebody translate? I don't speak poor.
Or like they're like, hey, Bridget. And they're like, no, I'm not doing photos.
And it's like a coworker, and they're like, the fuck?
Excuse me.
You like go to places and like request shit that's not available. Like you go into a Starbucks, like, can I also get a side of cottage cheese? And they're like, no. You're like, don't you
Or,
know
like,
who
you're
I
like-
fucking am?
And this is gonna be on the house, right?
You don't know who I fucking am. Get the cottage cheese here now. Do you want to get blown up on socials? Fucking bull. What's your name?
That's so
Richard?
funny.
Fuck you, Richard. Give me my cottage cheese. Do you know who I am?
I love it. Anyways, I feel like
You're at like the Starbucks and they ask you to sign your receipt after
Oh,
you do
no.
a card payment.
I
You're
was
like, no, I'm not doing
That's gonna be
autographs.
$12. That's gonna be 12.
I don't work for free.
Yeah. I better see you incinerate that receipt after I sign it.
Or like somebody will just bump into you and they'll be like, excuse me, and you're like,
That one's just so subtle but so true. With rich
Like-
people and famous people.
I love that these are things I would literally never do. Like, I feel like even if I'm like blown up, I don't.
Yeah, you say that now, Bridget.
I do say it now, but
We'll see,
when
Bridget.
I'm a like award-winning author and have this podcast as well as many others.
I'm more worried about Madison than I am you, to be honest. Just a little worried in that department that she'll just be like, I'm great and I know it. I've always known it. Now just other people know it.
like, I don't think I would be mean to people who come up to me in public. Like, I definitely would welcome that. Like, if you somehow know what I look like and see me in public and you want to come up and say,
Well,
hey,
we're gonna start doing videos
I
soon,
literally
so-
had a dream about that happening. Like, I dreamt it. So you're more than welcome. I think I would like be the type of person who would get in like a social media fight just because, like, just for funsies.
Yep.
So
We're getting canceled any
she
day
definitely.
Any hoosies.
now. Anyway,
you.
thanks guys.
You know what I feel like Franny
Thank
would be?
you so much.
I feel like Franny would be the celebrity that like avoids the public eye, but like at all times unless you plan it, and then you would like
Yes.
hire the Paps to show up while you're like coming out of Whole Foods.
Yes, 100%.
Like I just feel like
100%
that's the kind of
me.
famous person Franny would be.
I need controlled environments.
You're like, you'd wear like your best shit that day and be
Yes.
like, I don't know, they just found me.
And like stars, they're just like us. They shop at Whole Foods.
and I only have like organic shit in that cart, like not a single carb.
and then like if you get to our
nothing
house, it's just pizza.
Oh no.
All right, guys.
All right, y'all.
Like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Spotify, on
Yeah.
YouTube's, on what's another one? Name another. Pocket
SoundCloud.
Podcast.
Google Podcasts or whatever.
In Pocket Podcast,
I
right? Too
reject
is that another
SoundCloud.
one?
I don't fucking
I don't
know.
know.
Like so many places.
And like,
Somebody said they like us on Pocket Podcast, right?
okay, there you go. Pocket Podcast. Maybe
Yeah,
like.
I don't know. I mean, Anchor is where it all goes through. I think Anchor also has an app, so you can find us on Anchor.
On Anchor as well. But honestly, whichever way you guys want to listen to it,
Wherever podcasts are sold.
share the hell out of us.
Please.
Share the living shit out of us.
We love you and appreciate.
Jack Black, if you're out there.
And later, guys.